Welcome to Crime Podcastle Unsolved Mystery Series, Episode 49. Today we're taking a deep dive into a case that's both intriguing and heartbreaking, the disappearance of Ashok Kumar in India back in 2015. Ashok was a 42-year-old school teacher in Haryana, India, known for his dedication to his students and his gentle nature. He was a beloved member of his community, a husband, a father, someone you wouldn't expect to just vanish. But on October 12th, 2015, that's exactly what happened. It started as an ordinary day. Ashok went to school, taught his classes, interacted with colleagues. Everything seemed normal. He was last seen leaving the school grounds around 4:30 p.m., mentioning he had an errand to run before heading home. But the details of that errand remain a mystery to this day.
That's really where things take a turn. That seemingly mundane detail, the errand, becomes a linchpin in the investigation. It raises a whole host of questions. Who was he meeting? Where was he going? What was so important that it couldn't wait until after he got home?
And as the hours ticked by, the lack of answers only intensified the worry. Ashok didn't return home when he usually did. His wife's calls went unanswered. By nightfall, the situation had escalated from concern to genuine fear. She reported him missing to the police. And that's when the investigation really began. But it didn't get any easier. The next day, Ashok's motorcycle was found abandoned on a desolate road on the outskirts of town. Not a place he'd typically go, not part of his usual routine. And to make things even stranger, his wallet and ID were still inside the bike. No signs of a struggle, no indication of robbery. It's almost as if he just stopped there and vanished.
It's a real head-scratcher, isn't it? The abandoned motorcycle suggests he got there under his own power, but the fact that his belongings were left untouched casts doubt on theories like a robbery gone wrong. And the location itself, well, it raises questions about whether he went there willingly or was taken against his will.
So many questions, so few answers. What was he doing in that isolated spot? Why leave his belongings behind? Did he choose to be there, or was he forced? The investigators were faced with a puzzle with a lot of missing pieces. They started by digging into Ashok's personal life. Was there something troubling him that his family didn't know about? Financial problems, a secret relationship, a hidden conflict, anything that might explain why he would suddenly disappear. But his family insisted that he was content, with no obvious reasons to just walk away from his life.
That lack of an apparent motive makes this case all the more perplexing. In many missing person cases, there's a clear financial motive, like a ransom demand, or signs of foul play that point investigators in a specific direction. But here, those usual starting points were absent.
Which makes that mysterious errand even more crucial, right?
Yeah.
If he wasn't running from something, was he going towards something? Was this meeting or whatever he was doing connected to his disappearance? Investigators tried to piece together who he might have been meeting and why. But no clear answers emerged. It's like this errand just evaporated into thin air, along with Ashok himself.
And then there's the location of the abandoned motorcycle to consider.
Right.
It's on the outskirts of town, in an isolated area.
Yeah.
It's not somewhere you just happen to be passing through.
No.
So was it a meeting point, a place he was taken to? The remoteness of it all just adds another layer of complexity to the puzzle.
It really does. You can't help but wonder if that location holds some sort of key to what happened. Did something happen there, or was it just a stepping stone to somewhere else? Investigators combed the area for any clue, any trace of Ashok, but nothing turned up.
And that's where we run into one of the biggest hurdles in this case. The lack of forensic evidence.
Yeah.
No witnesses, no signs of a struggle, no DNA. It's incredibly frustrating for investigators because without those concrete pieces of the puzzle, it becomes very difficult to build a solid theory.
It's almost as if he just stepped out of his life and left no trace.
Exactly. And in cases like this, where traditional investigative avenues hit a dead end, you often have to rely on theories to try and make sense of the inexplicable. So let's delve into some of the possibilities that emerged in Ashok's case.
Okay, let's explore those theories. One that often comes up in missing person cases is the idea of a voluntary disappearance. Could Ashok have chosen to walk away from his life, his family, everything he knew?
It's a possibility that has to be considered. But in Ashok's case, it's hard to reconcile with what we know about him. He was described as a happy and devoted family man with no apparent reason to vanish. His loved ones vehemently denied any suggestion that he would choose to abandon them.
So if it wasn't a voluntary disappearance, what other explanations were explored? Could it have been a robbery gone wrong, despite his wallet and ID being left behind?
It's not entirely out of the question. There could have been other valuables that were taken, or perhaps the perpetrator panicked and fled before taking anything. But the lack of any signs of a struggle or forced entry on the motorcycle makes this theory less likely.
It just adds to the sense that things don't quite add up. Then there's the possibility of foul play. Could Ashok have been the victim of a targeted attack?
That's another avenue that investigators explored. But again, we run into that frustrating lack of evidence. There were no known enemies or conflicts in Ashok's life that would suggest a motive for such an attack. His background was clean, he had no reason to fear for his safety.
It's almost as if he was plucked out of his life by some unknown force, leaving everyone around him to grapple with the why.
And that's the question that haunts everyone involved. What could possibly explain this? Was there something hidden in Ashok's life that we don't know about? A secret that someone wanted to silence? Or was this a truly random act of violence with no discernible motive?
It's a chilling thought that sometimes these things happen without rhyme or reason. But in Ashok's case, that lack of a clear explanation only deepens the mystery. It's a puzzle with seemingly no solution.
And unfortunately, as time went on, the investigation into Ashok's disappearance hit a wall. Despite expensive searches, appeals to the public, and even the involvement of private investigators, no new leads emerged.
So we're left with a man who seemingly vanished into thin air. A loving family left to cope with the unimaginable pain of not knowing. And a community shaken by the realization that even in a place that feels familiar and safe, the unexpected can happen.
It's a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of the unknown. Sometimes, even with the best efforts of law enforcement and the unwavering hope of loved ones, the answers we seek remain elusive.
And in Ashok's case, the unanswered questions only amplify the tragedy. We're left to grapple with the possibilities, to sift through the limited evidence, and to wonder what truly happened on that fateful day. It's cases like Ashok's that really stay with you. The idea that someone can just disappear without a trace, leaving behind so many unanswered questions. It's a reminder that even in a world that feels increasingly connected, there's still mysteries that defy explanation.
Absolutely. And for those left behind, the families and friends, the not knowing can be the hardest part to bear. Imagine the constant wondering, the what-ifs, the endless search for answers that may never come. It's a heavy burden to carry.
Ashok's family has never given up hope. They've continued to search for him, to raise awareness about his case, to keep his memory alive. Their strength and resilience in the face of such unimaginable loss is truly inspiring.
It's a testament to the power of love and the enduring bond of family. Even when faced with the darkest of circumstances, they haven't allowed the mystery to consume them. They've chosen to focus on the memories, the love they shared, and the hope that one day they might finally find the answers they seek.
As we conclude our deep dive into the disappearance of Ashok Kumar, we're left with a profound sense of the unknown. The case remains open, a testament to the enduring power of mystery. But even in the absence of definitive answers, there are still lessons to be learned.
One of the most important takeaways is the importance of awareness. Ashok's case highlights the fact that these disappearances can happen anywhere, to anyone. It's a reminder to be vigilant, to pay attention to our surroundings, and to never take our safety or the safety of our loved ones for granted.
It's also a reminder of the importance of community. In times of crisis, it's our connections with others that provide support and strength. Ashok's family has relied heavily on the support of their community throughout their ordeal. And it's a reminder that we're not alone in facing life's challenges.
And finally, it's a reminder that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, hope should never be extinguished. As long as there are those who remember Ashok, who continue to search for him, and who refuse to let his story be forgotten, there's always a chance that the truth will eventually come to light.
We want to thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of a mystery that continues to intrigue and baffle. Ashok Kumar's disappearance serves as a chilling reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of the unknown. If you have any information about this case, no matter how small, please don't hesitate to contact the authorities. And if you found this deep dive thought-provoking, we encourage you to follow and subscribe to Crime Podcast for more deep dives into unsolved mysteries. Until next time, keep exploring the world's enigmas, and remember, sometimes the most compelling stories are those that leave us with more questions than answers.